I have a dream. Possibly the three most famous words to make it out of the 1960s. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the biggest influences in the civil rights movements. Looking back on how things were, I cannot imagine an existence where we segregate people solely based on the color of their skin. America would not be the country it is today without people like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. was a man full of knowledge, bravery, and strength. His accomplishments were highly impressive. He fought hard for change, and his death will always leave a scar on American history. Most people at 35 have accomplished in their career and in their life, but not normally a Nobel Peace Prize like Martin Luther King Jr. had. King was born on January 15th, 1929, and as a child, he did attend schools that were segregated. And he went to school in Georgia, and he moved on to several colleges where he received a bachelor's degree, a doctorate degree, and many other degrees, as we'll learn later. He was elected president of his senior class, which was also a predominantly white school. Then he enrolled at Boston University, where he did receive his doctorate degree and graduated in 1955. During his time in Boston, he met his wife, Coretta Scott, and they had two beautiful children together. And during his stay at Boston, he also became a pastor for Dexter Avenue Church. King never stopped protesting and fighting for what he believed in, and rights for himself and everyone else in America. Martin Luther King Jr. traveled over 6 million miles, and many of his protests caught the eye of strangers. King was attacked several times during his protest. He was stabbed. He was arrested. There were things burnt in his front yard. There was a bomb scare in Nashville. A shotgun was fired through his home, along with many other terrible things. Although his efforts were physically and mentally traumatizing, King never gave up. He never gave up on America, and he never gave up on justice. King's death stumped the whole nation. He was only 35 years old. On April 4th, 1968, King was getting ready to go on strike with garbage workers in Memphis, Tennessee. He was standing on the balcony of his motel room when he was assassinated. This is a picture of the motel balcony where he was killed. The death of King is still one that saddens me anytime I think about it or hear about it or the anniversary comes. All I can think about is what could this man have accomplished had he been given the rest of his life to live it and to fight for it. King fought to live so others didn't have to. His death resulted in a wave of protests, riots, looting. These protests were also known as the Holy Week Uprising, where over 100 cities in America participated. Martin Luther King Jr. was a leader, academically successful, and fought for civil rights until his life was taken from him. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live our true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Thank you.